Hey everybody, we are now coming into the midday of market trading. We've been open for about 2 hours at the time of filming this video, and so far, not too much to speak about price action wise. One thing that is going well so far is the fact that we're coming back from that big dip, taking us down to our low of the day, which as of current was down at 1475. Again, we want to see this come back into the green now. Hopefully that's going to be possible. Less than 1% down. Obviously, it's going to be ideal to close above 15, but we're going to be getting into all of that throughout this video. This is just a quick update of a few things which I think you should know whilst we are still trading through Friday. So I've compiled all of the key information. Of course, we do talk about all sorts regarding both AMC and other stocks on this channel, but if you are into AMC, this will be the place for you, so please do subscribe. Anyway, I want to jump straight in, and where we're going to start off today is on the Ortex data. Now, this is coming from JD Ruckus, the Ortex guy on Reddit, and it says simply, Ortex guy here with your update for, of course, today. Now, this is from the opening bell, but still quite relevant. Now, the SI and shares on loan walked down and finished climbing up. The utilization is at 100% for the 109th day, and the cost to borrow is steady. The current mood: an orphan would be a perfect fighter jet pilot. Homing missiles wouldn't work on them. Now we're going to get the 2 pages up as we usually do and go over the key info. So that's the first one. Now let's get up the second one. And I want to start actually on that second one, which is the one that we have currently highlighted. So let's have a look at what we are looking at here. Now, we don't look at the Ortex data on this channel every day, but when we do see some key changes. And one thing which I have my eye on right now is how the cost to borrow, both minimum and maximum, have gone down a bit since our last analysis of this data. So maximum currently only at 11.66 and the minimum down at 9.56, and the average being around 10.78. Not bad, still quite expensive to borrow, but clearly it's down a bit. Now, does that mean everything? No, but it is something which you guys should be aware of if you do see the Ortex data as anything important. Anyway, other key details that we're looking at is the short score from Ortex, which is 76.07, the short interest value, or at least the estimate of that, which is currently at 1.39 billion. We've seen the estimated short interest of percentage of free float being at 17.95, and the free float percentage on loan is 25.34. The shares on loan therefore equal 130.61 million. And we can see the changes for what that means at the bottom over here. Of course, if you want to see that, you guys can look at it by pausing the video or find out what Ortex guy has posted. Now, another key thing for Friday, as I mentioned, is going to be to retain that level of $15, and there is a simple and key reason for that. Now, if we look at $15, which again is where we are trying to hold, and look at what we have for the generalized data, we're seeing this from maximum pain for AMC. Obviously, this week we're looking at a maximum pain figure of $15. So again, that is where the most will lose the most money. So we're seeing the highest put strike, which is at 20, and the highest call price, which is at 145. Now again, obviously they are the extremes of the spectrum, but we can see what that means generalized, and we can just keep our eye on that max pain figure of 15. Now let's have a look at this in a little bit more detail, and for this we're coming over to bar chart if you wanted the source. So these are the expiries for today. We can see the calls and the puts. We're going to have a look first at the overall. It says obviously 0 days to expiration because it expires today. Implied volatility is 63.43%, with the historic volatility being at 87.61. Now, we're seeing the price down here. Everything up to about 1350 doesn't really count. Now, of course, we are seeing some decent volume when we get up to the higher figures, but again, not really anything below 14 or even 13 has that much volume. So yeah, key levels that we're looking at for this week, like I said, 15, if we can remain there, we're going to get 7,700 calls on the money. 1550 is another 7,173, and 16 is another 9,143, with numbers like 1650 and 17 being about 3 and 2,000 shares respectively. So you get the picture here. A lot of calls were placed quite decently. You know, to say that AMC would close above $15, $16 this week, it's not as ridiculous as some of the ideas that we have seen in the past. So whilst I still say I would not buy options myself, I think these are more reasonable figures than what we have often seen in the past. So completely understandable. And that's why it's going to be so key to close above these key levels. You know, $15, $15.50. On the very, very high end, above 16 would be another win. But let's first have a look at the data for the puts. Now again, volume in this column and the price action in the most left column. So as you would expect, anything above 15 up to 15.50 is currently in the money, but volume for these are quite low. Where a lot of shorts apparently expected, or where a lot of people who bought puts expected this one to finish today, according to the volume, was down around 14.50. Because we can see the open interest or volume for this is at 7.3k, and at 15 we're looking at 3.3k, with 1.5k being at $14 exactly. Now, that's a far call from the 998 alone that we are seeing expire in the money if we close below 15.50. And again, if we close above 15.50, it's looking like we're only having 251 closing at $16. Again, if we close below that price point. So we can see how it's working. Again, it's looking like a lot more calls are going to be in the money than puts. I think it was close this weekend for people who play options. I think it is still going to be neck and neck. Again, as far as options are concerned, for those interested, yes, we're seeing relatively low options volume this week, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. But yes, we have a lot more calls in the money than puts, so that is of course always a good thing for AMC longs. But yeah, it's all going to be, in my opinion, about where we close this week. Again, a close above $15 is ideal. Above that, we're looking for $15.50. And of course, we have had difficulty breaking above that point and remaining there. And another key level that we're looking to break above, whether that be today or at some point in the next week or two, it's going to be the price point of 16. Had a lot of trouble in that in the last week or so anyway. And again, on the low end, options-wise, we're looking to come down to 15 itself, then down to 14.50 and so on, but technically I think we're looking for more like 14.25. We found the support there in the past, so we could see us drop that low potentially today. Now again, I know it sounds like a very bearish estimate after what we have seen, but as you will know, I am very bullish on this stock. But what I do know is they have enjoyed messing with us in the past when it comes to options, and that's why I'm a little bit reluctant to put too much faith in price actions on a Friday, because it always seems to become something which apes get their hopes up for, and then they just disappoint once more. So that's really all for this episode, guys. I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope it was useful for you. As usual, the same does apply. If you enjoy it, do share it, do subscribe if you can, because we are trying to grow the channel and share the info. I hope it was informative, and I will be back with you later for more videos, but for now, as usual, it's going to be a goodbye.